Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Danny Sore with my first official cast for the clan that I'm going to start collaborating with. OG, they are been very nice to select me to help them kind of put out some content, so let's hope for everyone's sake I don't screw this up too badly. So today this was actually sent in by our player in the top right, Tenza. He asked me to cast this for him, so he's probably judging everything I say with the highest level of scrutiny, so basically I better not screw up. Down in the bottom right, we have another Zerg player, Mr. Barcode. No idea which one this could be, so we will have to see what's going on. Now, this is ZVZ. I am a Protoss player, so not quite as, how would you say, in tune with all of the intricacies of a lot of these things and how they work. But, you know, I'm going to do my best for you all. Hope you enjoy. Typically, ZVZ at the beginning is pretty standard either way. Not a lot goes on either way. Just going to begin scouting. Looks like our Barcode player is going to scout in the correct direction, but in ZVZ isn't too big of a deal, so it doesn't appear that there's any sort of cheese inbounds. I actually did stay home from work sick today, so if I sound a little under the weather, that would be why. I've been having quite the sinus issue. Basically, apparently my body has decided that my left nostril is a in but not out. I can breathe in through the nostril, but not out. Never really had that problem before, but you never quite know how your body's going to react to such things, so I'm hoping it's, you know, just some sort of passing sickness or bug, and not something terrifyingly awful. So it looks like both players now are going to know where the other person is going to be at, both of them throwing down an expansion. Shouldn't see anything too drastic here. It is on Whirlwind, which will be our first map. I'm also trying to get in tune with the new overlays and whatnot, bringing up things like income and those sorts of things. I did get a new one that allows me some interesting little units killed things and stuff like that, but I don't believe I remember any of the shortcuts for that, so that may have to wait for another day. But those will all be things that I will be working on, especially because I should be doing this a little bit more regularly. So it looks like Tenza will be getting his gas just slightly ahead of where our Barcode player is. I can't say our Zerg player either, which is really upsetting. But both things are going to be very well in line. Usually with ZVZ in the openings, there are a couple different ways to go that kind of come down to preference, and they have little intricacies and things like that that make them a little bit advantageous in certain situations, but by and large, things tend to just kind of come about in much the same sort of light. So you guys know a little bit about me, I guess, since we have some downtime, not a whole lot here going on. We'll zoom out so you can see kind of the entirety of what's going on. I have been playing a new game on my phone, which I'm pretty excited about. I got a little emulator, fired up Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, which has been great. Play the original Final Fantasy Tactics, basically a staple of my childhood. So if any of you guys have played that before, you should know it's a little bit interesting game. Not your typical Final Fantasy, a little bit of turn-based. Other games I play, I've been playing a lot of Awesome Knots. If you guys play such things, it's kind of the poor man's Dota or League of Legends, depending on which you would like. But it's a lot of fun. Play with a couple of buddies of mine and my brothers. So as you can see, really not a whole lot going on. A couple Zerglings here going to float right on down. And I somehow selected the rocks as well. And obviously not much is going to happen here. But Tenza is going for that, he's going for a Baneling's Nest, and our Barcode player will not be. So we'll have to see if he plans to be very aggressive with that and what happens. See if our Barcode player is going to throw up something like a Roach Warren in order so we can counter him. As you all know, Banelings versus Zerglings are just not very good news, and he has scouted pretty much everything at this point. Just kind of hanging out there. This Queen will clean up this Ling, but definitely did its job, and immediately started the lair as soon as that Ling is gone. And Tenza has not, so we'll have to see. If he decides to be hyper-aggressive here, he may actually make something work out, especially with this Baneling Nest. Both players have excellent map coverage. There's not going to be anything that gets through to either player's base without the other one knowing. Of course, looks like Tenza's scouting out, making sure that either one of these are going to see either third base if that's going to come up. And there is the Roach Warren and an Evolution Chamber. And a poorly placed Creep Tumor. And he is going to pretty much shore up this wall, make sure things like Speedlings that are on their way down are not going to get in. So he will not be able to do anything with these Lings, unfortunately. to see, barring a miracle, there's just going to be no such luck. Yeah, losing 2 of them, no big deal. Zerglings, super expendable. As a Protoss player, I do not have the luxury of having expendable units. Zealots are pretty much as expendable as things get. So it looks like Tenza will be expanding first. I expect our Barcode player to send something out very quickly. And Tenza is also getting the Spire. So the Banelings haven't quite worked out yet, but he hasn't made any, but maybe more of just sort of a defensive plan. But the Mutas should come in, and we'll see how our Barcode player responds. He's investing heavily into Roaches, +1, and that Guile Reconstruction. So we will have to see if he plans to go Mass Roach, then those Mutas could be a very, very good choice. And he is also on his way to a 3rd base. A couple Lings harassing over here. Nice little thing. There's lots of free hits on this hatchery. Won't force a cancel by any means, but these 2 Lings taking a good number of hit points off of this. And some more Lings come in, and not quite able to get a good surround on the Queen. Kept those 2 bunched up pretty well together. Couldn't get that full surround, but now he will be coming in for a 2nd attack, and if he gets a decent surround, which he does, 2 Queens, a great transfuse there. The 2nd Queen, both of them will go down, and I'm sure he will retreat instead of fighting these Roaches, but good damage done there. Those 2 Queens, that's really going to slow down the creep spread, especially if he's trying to push Roaches across the map. That can be really advantageous, so we'll have to see how he responds, and 10 Mutas are on the way, and just 7 more Roaches for a Barcode player. And if those Mutas get out, which they will, it should be right, if he pushes right across, they should be out just in time. This is a good number of Roaches that are forming up here, and now he scouts them with the Lings. The Lings doing a run-by, perhaps just trying to slow him down, but he will be unsuccessful in doing so. And that movement speed looks like it just finished up. And 2 more Mutas on the way, and here come 5 Mutas, raining down some death. He's going to need to get a lot of damage done here. And this will... I'm trying to decide whether he can get this 3rd base if he tries to really target it down. Oh no, and these Mutas are just targeting Overlords instead. But now he's coming in against these Roaches. The Zergling is not able to do anything at home. Does drive those away. Takes down about 1/3 of the life on that hatchery. And some great shots going down. Getting a Roach or 2, picking him off slowly. But this is a lot of Roaches. And our Barcode player is supply capped at this point. Tenza is pushing out more and more Mutas, and he's getting a ton of damage done. Lots of Lings here that will really help him out, really help slow down all the damage that's going to be done. And as they file in, these Zerglings going in for a surround, and he's going to try to get them. These Mutas keep just pounding away, but there are so many Roaches soaking up so much of that Muta damage. And I'm going to try to see how many Roaches he's going to get, and he should be able to get plenty of drones. Drones retreating into the main, some more Zerglings coming down, trying to mitigate some of this damage. And Tenza certainly will clean all of this up. I'm wondering what our Barcode player has in response, because once these Roaches are gone, how is he going to deal with these Mutas? And now all of the Roaches just evaporating. There are more on their way across the base, just 6 here. They aren't going to be able to get anything done. Not against this impressive Muta force. He's got now 20 Mutas out against just 17 Roaches. That will not bode well. He may end up losing this base if he really commits to it with this and more Roaches. He is trying to split up here, which is a pretty good idea. Not quite sure if he should be targeting that extractor, and he smartly runs away. And Burrow ineffective against this Overseer. And it looks like these drones are being pulled over to the 3rd base. I like that idea, but some of them are going to be picked off on their way over. Tenza doing a really nice job splitting up the Muta against all of this endless Roach aggression. He is a little bit down in supply. The worker count is basically identical. This 3rd base was picked off. Sorry, I missed that a little while ago. That was a rather big deal. This does make our Barcode player a little bit all-in-ish. And so many Roaches are coming across, and these Mutas doing a really nice job, but not quite cleaning them up as quickly and efficiently as he needs in order to save things like these drones. He has fallen down now to just 32 drones. However, we'll have to check on these minerals real quick here. About 500 left on each patch. That's going to allow him to continue the aggression for a little while. Trying to pick off this base. If he can do that, that would be pretty huge, but just doesn't quite have enough. But this next group of Roaches should be able to pick it off. There's no way he can kill all of those before they get there. For the units tab, now up to 24 Mutas. against these 19 roaches, most of them right here in this clump heading across. And here these mutas are sending down, and no, he's not going to go. Now he's going for that third base. I was going to say that would be devastating if he did not. No idea why he's not trying to pick off this hatchery. He's going to lose most of these roaches anyway. Barcode player a little bit falling apart. This base is so low. More of them coming in here, but he's got plenty of Zerglings there. They will be able to at least mitigate. He's got one muta in. And finally Tenza pulls these mutas back. Going to zoom out just a little bit to see everything that's going on. And pretty good positioning here, and he does burrow them. But now, these mutas, when are they going to go to work? That is very much the key. 26 of these bad boys on their way over. Barcode player is attempting to get up a third base, but I do not believe that that will be very effective. And this looks like impending doom for our Barcode player. I'm not sure if there's going to be anything he can do against all of these mutalisks. Oh, and tons of overlords sitting here. Oh, and that's going to be devastating. He's going to be heavily supply blocked. A ton of queens come out, but oh, could he just pick off these two? One more volley would have done it. And he does spot these roaches coming over. He does want to save this third base, so these mutas are going to come over. They will make quick work of this. He should target the ones going to the third base. And just these three roaches, there is so little health. Can he actually do it? And a little bit of a delay might allow him to do it, and it looks like it will go down. He does have this one burrowed roach. He knows as soon as these mutas are going to leave, he's going to pick off this hatchery. Tenza, his economy has recovered, and he does find that roach. Very fortunate for him, but at this point, this base might honestly just be worth destroying himself and rebuilding one. Not a tactic you commonly see, but when it's this low, it's just, there's no drones there anyway, so he can use this time to build that up. He was able to, again, deny this third base, which makes our Barcode player basically all in. He's really running out. He's getting very low, just 100 left on those patches. Oh, but with some infestors coming out, we'll have to see what's going to happen here. Raining down death on all of those overlords. That's going to be key. Taking out that Spore Crawler does get transfused, and a good pickoff denying the third base. I believe Tenza knows at this point, if he can deny the third base, he basically wins, even if he starts trading horridly inefficiently. Now he's going to have to see, with all of these roaches coming out, picking off even more overlords, and with how low our Barcode player will be with his economy, that will be pretty devastating. I'm trying to see how our Barcode player can come back. He has to really hope that these infestors are worth their weight in gold, and really pull off some absolutely killer fungals. But with Tenza wrapping around to his main currently as he tries to get this third base up, I'm not quite sure what this will do, and we'll have to see what he can pick off here. Unfortunately, all of those bounces going onto Larva instead of onto that Spore Crawler. He's going to pick off a hatch, it looks like, as he goes in. He does get the cancel, loses plenty of lings, but that's no big deal for him at this point. Lots more overlords sitting over here. He does get a hatchery. The macro hatch will be bad. And all of these infestors are coming up. We'll see if he is able to bunch them up. Just throwing out some infested Terrans. They're not quite bunched up enough to make fungals useful. And a bunch like this, that could be really great news for him, but he's really lost a lot. He is heavily supply blocked now still. On the production tab, he's got no overlords making either. Nothing has been started yet. He is starting Hydras. And he's going to try to devastate the economy. I mean, he's doing what he can. He's being pretty effective at killing drones, but he's sacrificing his army, and with this third base still not up for him, I'm not quite sure how much this will do. If he gets into an all-in sort of situation, I guess that's the best he can hope for, but he is losing all of these roaches. And now Tenza getting a couple roaches of his own, pulling some mutas over to get some extra DPS. Throw down on those. He does have some hidden roaches over here, which could prove very useful, especially now that he's driving the army away. He does unburrow them, goes right for that mineral line. He's going to be able to pick off plenty. He's going to get this queen. That's going to slow down that larva production. His lings is kind of filing back, but you know the damage is pretty much done here. If we look at the units, he is down by 7 in drones, but he keeps remaking. He's got 8 more on the way. But with our Barcode player now getting Hydras, you know, this could be a little rough for him depending on the number that he gets. This third base is not saturated yet, but did finally get up with his main, just with one lonely patch left. We'll take a look at the income for our players here. And it looks like Tenza, not much on the gas production. He has not replaced drones in his main. He does have 2 here, and he did expand over to this 4th base. And these mutas going to town. Oh, if he can get this lair, that would be pretty good if he can pick off other tech buildings. And going to town on these queens, but unfortunately that Overseer was just a little bit too far out. Oh, and here come those infestors, and he smartly gets out. That was a lot of wasted energy. If you can keep doing moves like that and keeping those infestors on low energy, that'll really bode well for him as he slowly starts getting this Roach Hydra composition up. And unfortunately, I did not turn off my Skype notifications as one of the players told me to do, but I forgot. Oh no, this cast is falling apart. Hopefully they won't say too much, so this will be a little bit more entertaining for all of you. I really hope you don't instinctively start, checking your Skype messages because you think something's coming in. He is getting rid of the Spore Crawler, which is pretty nice. Tons of transfuses going off, and really the energy, the psionic units are really saving our Barcode player. He was effectively able to get up this third base finally. Not quite as saturated as he probably would have liked. But I'm not going to lie, with just Muta and Roaches, I thought this game was going to be over very quickly. You can see this hatchery still very low. Oh, and a big engagement going down here. We'll have to see how we can do against all those infestors, and we'll have to see if there are any sort of fungal growths or anything going on here. And these Mutas are getting devastated. So many of them going down. Oh no, and this is a very poor place to engage for Tenza, and he does pull back, and he just lost a very large number of those expensive Mutas. Those Hydras worth their weight in gold. All those infested Terrans that came out, really able to do quite a number. Look at the active forces here, still pretty even, the supplies are pretty even. Both these players going back and forth in a very high velocity game. Both of them are probably sweating buckets, as they will when things get a little intense. In terms of upgrades here, not a whole lot has been going on, just 1-1 for our Barcode player. I do not believe Tenza has the match, no, just +1 on the attack. And these Roaches are coming out. He's trying to set up, a great concave setup for Tenza, and he will crush this force. It's just a better overall concave and a larger number. And you can see that income for him is really pushing him up and above. He's definitely got about 500 more minerals per minute coming in, and it's able to make his, and they all unfurl. Oh, and what a great concave for Tenza. Able to cover that almost by a full 180 degrees. But with all those infested Terrans coming out, I'm not quite sure if he'll be able to push through. He did eliminate a ton of those Mutas and Roaches. Here come the Queens with the transfuses, and I think Tenza has maybe just enough. Oh, but the transfuses, it's getting so close. In come the Mutas to help with that a little extra DPS. Oh, I really do not know who's going to win here. I think our Barcode player has pushed him back. That was very close. Tenza just barely not able. If these Roaches maybe got down there a little bit faster. Things like creep spread, so important for reinforcing when you're the attacking player is the Zerg, trying to send those Roaches back down very quickly. So look at the army. Tenza does have that better income, as we highlighted earlier, both on very low larva counts. 5 Queens for our Barcode player. Tenza now going just barely getting up to 4. He has 29 Roaches now just popped out. And no Mutas, it looks like. None whatsoever. So we'll have to see if he tries to go back into that. It looks like he may just be trying to go into this just heavily Roach-based game. He did get up to +2. So both of them a little sort of equal on their upgrades, except for that Carapace is a little bit better for a Barcode player with the +1. And he is going to pick off all of these Roaches here, which will be pretty nice for him. Nice little free units here, but he can attack up this ramp, not into this sort of army. Oh, and he's running his Roaches in so far. He's trying to get after all of those infestors. Is he able to do so? He's not quite targeting all of them down. A great fungal growth going out. He did get in deep, and reinforcements coming from the northeast. He's got a great concave here, but again, all these infested Terrans coming out. Will he be able to overwhelm? It looks like he may just have enough. It's going to be very close here, depending on what reinforcements come in. And he did lose on this bottom right side. If he's able to target down this base, it may just be worth sacrificing all of his Roaches just to get this base. Can he do it? And no, he is going to go for the killing blow as more reinforcements are pouring down from him. You can see them all up here on the minimap, and that is GG from our Barcode player. Tenza able to starve out this third base, stay 1 base ahead of his opponent, and is able to take it. That was a very, very high velocity game, and the key to the game, I believe, was this hatchery not going down. Let's see if I can find where it was exactly in this replay. He could have had it. It was before that 4th base went up. It was right when that Roach was burrowed there. I'm going to say right about here. We'll see if we can pull this off effectively. Yes, right here, all these Roaches, he should have been able to sneak some of these in. This hatchery is so low. As I speed it up here, I believe he sends them back one more time here in just a little bit. This hatchery just sitting 150 health. Here it is. These 3 roaches, if he targeted them with all of these roaches right now, which he didn't with this one. Let's see if it goes down to 2/3 health. Yes, he absolutely would have been able to do it. It went down to 46. Oh, and down to 30. If this roach would have attacked at that time instead of being a little cute and hiding it, he would have gotten this base. That would have been a huge deal, as both players here, you can see all of these drones in the main, far too many because he had just pulled them. His income would have been rough, and he used this base pretty much later on in order to overwhelm his opponent economically. So I think that really was the key to the game, but props to Tenza for staying in there against that endless stream of roaches. Really a quite high-velocity game. Really enjoyed casting that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my cast of it, and hopefully you look forward to seeing a few more here. I will be trying to push out some content for you guys, so this has been the Danisaur with another cast, so stay tuned for more videos. I'll try to post them about once a day. Have a good one.